Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK 2020 Summer Promotion. I am Max Atlas Anderson, joined by LS here for the final match of the day. And we went from the happy match. That was the one where someone gets to come into the LCK, and that's super exciting. Congratulations to Team Dynamics. And now we're up to the sad match. This is where we say goodbye to either SANDBOX or Griffin.
Yeah, and I don't know what to expect for today's matchup because both teams, I would say Griffin less so, but both of these teams did look really off in their last series, and even towards the end of LCK, SANDBOX is just, something is really gone wrong for them in the last couple of months.
They've fallen off a cliff, and they completely rearranged their coaching staff, and their drafts look worse.
They're about to fall off a ship.
Yeah. They are so far from the ship right now. This is
they're about to go overboard.
They're in the middle of the desert. There's no ships in sight, but they're doing their very best to trudge their way back. You know, the only way is forward, and hopefully they brought enough water with them, because that's what you need when you're stuck in the desert, away from the ships. This is how the promotion has turned out so far. Congratulations to Team Dynamics. And Sorobol Gaming are going to be waiting in tomorrow's best of 5 series, and they'll be facing off against the winner of our next match. And as you can see, losers match best of 3, SANDBOX versus Griffin. Griffin looked better yesterday, but Dynamics looked better yesterday as well. So they also looked way better today. 26-minute victory, 23-minute victory over Sorobol Gaming. And so what does that mean for this next match? We're not entirely sure, but Griffin did look better at the end of the season than SANDBOX, winning 3 out of 4 of their last matches to get a bit of momentum moving into this promotion tournament. But the loser is out, and that is the point of the match that we're starting with. These are two teams fighting for their lives, absolutely.
Well, close match between history since 2019. SANDBOX's 9 versus Griffin's 10, but this is not the same Griffin. And who will overcome the pressure of the losers match? That is another factor that is going to come into today's match.
Yeah.
You have to step on the other, either Root or Coach Han doesn't want to get relegated for 2 times in a row. And this is something you and I were just actually talking about before the broadcast.
Yeah.
Is that this has been a bit of a trend.
Coach Han has been struggling to have winning teams. That is entirely true. And if SANDBOX are relegated here today, then that's 2 teams he's taken to Challenger. He's promoted to Challenger's career twice in a row.
Someone tell him this isn't solo queue rankings.
And actually, he's going the wrong direction. You got to turn him around. I mean, he's missed those wrong way signs on the entryway to the highway, you know. And now he's doing some Matrix stuff.
He's driving the one-way street. That's the opposite way.
He's that guy that's way too stubborn, sees everybody else coming back. He's like, this is a one-way. What are you guys doing? Oh, no. Well, this is going to be the match history. An interesting one, actually, as both SANDBOX and Griffin are very close to one another. Of course, beginning in spring 2019, Griffin did promote a season earlier for summer 2018. They were then very dominant in their inaugural split and continued to be so. But SANDBOX were hot on their heels throughout most of 2019. Well, so looking forward to seeing what can happen here. Is once again, it's the same roster. Why is Dove not playing? I am baffled entirely, and I feel like this is going to be a big deal because Yukao is the team of Griffin. Another question mark is Sword up there on the top side. He was abused in their match against Sorobol Gaming. Like, they banned on, and Sword just didn't have anything else.
Sword versus Summit is one of those Pepe laugh moments, you know? That's it's one of the matchups that is very interesting.
Well, lopsided, I think,
the
is
key
the rule.
player is going to be Yukao. KDA in Summer Promotion, 12-1-10.
Dude, these stats are absurd.
Yeah.
Close to 40% of his team's damage. Damage per gold ratio, fantastic. And at 15 minutes, he's an average of 26 CS ahead. He pulverized Gancheng in that matchup. And this was with him getting either his Syndra or his Galio in both matches. In all matches. And so this was UCal just overcoming what was, just a difficult scenario for him, but this could mean that Fate has his work cut out for him. Fate did have some moments. His solo kill on his LeBlanc was pretty cool yesterday, but wasn't actually able to come to any victories. Still has a smile on his face, but we'll see whether that is going to be wiped off, as there is Zen Wadid. I don't know whether you were paying attention to yesterday's broadcast, but Wadid just proving himself as the greatest League of Legends player of all time. And we were mentioning it before, like he is a proud owner of a Nobel Prize.
Oh.
Member of Mensa, of course.
Wow.
Absolutely. Skydiving instructor.
Cerebral Society as well?
Yeah, he's a professional surfer.
Okay.
He has it all, but he wasn't able to get his team over the line. And that is, I think, due to the fact that he wanted us to experience as much Wood did in this promotion tournament as possible. So now they have to win this series, and then he goes into the best of 5 that they then win as well, just to make sure he gives the fans what they want. All jokes aside, though, guys, this is extraordinarily important. And interesting fun fact here is that both of these supports played in the LEC.
Yeah.
So we've got Wadid from G2 and then Misfits Gorilla on the other side. And both of them now coming back to face off in another league. So this is the battle of the EU bottom lanes. As SANDBOX, they found it. They did it. They've banned the Ornn. Griffin have banned the Jace themselves. And let's see what Sword's going to be able to do now with his back against the wall.
Well, already off to a bit of a rough start here is the draft. As SANDBOX, let's see what else they end up actually banning away.
Might be 80 carries getting a look in here. Viper has been pretty important. But the Varus first pick is something that SANDBOX are probably looking towards, as Graves and Varus immediately banned, as that might have been some lag on our end. I'm not entirely sure whether they banned it exactly that fast, but let's see what the first pick's going to be. Is Trundle. I mean, this is straight out of the LCK playbook, whether we like it or not.
And Trundle is, I actually, the patch notes came out yesterday, and I had a bit of a spiel about Trundle.
Yeah.
In that he is not a blind pick or early jungle that you can rotate. He has a lot of, he's a counter to a team composition. He doesn't mold into one. Ooh. So definitely a bit rough there, as they're going to do R1, R2, Aphelios and Thresh, and now SANDBOX responding with Ezreal Tom Kench.
Oh no! How did we get back here, LS? Timothy Kenshin's locked in here in the last round for SANDBOX. Understandable that SANDBOX have taken away their bottom lane and their jungle, but I'm not sure about it. UCal can go towards any of his mid laners if he would like. Only the Syndra has been banned away thus far as the mid lane pull. And the Corki is what he's decided to pick up here. UCal was pivotal in their first match. Even though it was a loss, he was still definitely the best performing player on the team. You can see having a conversation with his coach right now. Griffin making sure they get everything in order as we get into the next round of bans. 5 seconds to go. See what they do decide to focus on, as Summit is generally where your eyes are drawn, and Lucian going to be taken away. That's going to take care of both Fate and Summit.
And we'll see what SANDBOX try to ban away here. Jungle pool still very open. It's hard for SANDBOX to really know what to even ban here, because top is open as well.
I have a feeling Aatrox might just be banned away here from SANDBOX. No, they are going to focus on the jungle. Tarzan's Elise is going to be taken off the board. Wadid looking quizzical there in the player cam, as you can see. He already knows how this draft is going to go. He has seen it. He is all-seeing, all-knowing, as Griffin do take away the cannon as well that Summit has been defaulting to, trying their very best to get rid of his more lane-abusive champion picks, and then they will first round the Aatrox. Unless they do decide to lock away a jungler here and allow Sword counterpick. But we'll just have to see. That does make some sense. Does it fit the player? That's what we're going to have to find out. As Elise and Gragas taken away from Tarzan, but he can go towards a whole lot of different options. Not likely to be seeing his Sejuani here because, of course, that is a self-counter pick in the isolated matchup into Trundle. But we have seen weird and wonderful things that happen, as that's the Aatrox that I was talking about, and it is going to be locked away. So let's see what Summit's answer is, and I feel like this is something that Griffin were almost forced to do. They didn't really want to be counter-picking jungle, as they've already seen that it is going to be the Trundle there. And now it allows SANDBOX to get solo lanes that they're looking for. Yep,
and now let's take a look at how they're going to counterpick this. Obviously, Aurelia is open, and Camille is actually being hovered.
Yeah, that was what Tal decided to go with into the Aatrox, but it's going to be Renekton. We're going sin for sin on SANDBOX's side. And look, if SANDBOX are going to get relegated, you may as well do it doing what you love. And that is forcing the commentators to go to the confessional box after the match.
I need some rosary beads.
We're gonna need as much. Did you bring the holy water with you?
I'm gonna need a. I'm gonna need the entire.
G-Sun, we're going to need some sort of help here, as there is just. I feel like I'm on the set of Constantine. You know, I'm about to get thrown down to hell. It's not great. Anyway.
I believe I spotted the devil with holy water.
Like as Tarzan's going to last pick an Olaf into Trundle. Whew. It's going to be rough to hold on to.
I wasn't originally on the schedule for today.
I was wondering when we were going to hear about that, and it is now. As that is a theoretical self-counter pick in the isolated matchup. As Tarzan, we'll see whether he can do his best Cacao impression and hard farm the jungle. That was what Cacao did to him in their previous matchup. He was ahead by 50 CS or something like that on his Olaf, but I don't know whether Olaf necessarily fits in this comp at all. Generally, you do like to have some more of these supportive healing style of supports, like a Yuumi, for example. Even a Karma is fantastic, allowing him to scale a little bit better.
So Joker's on stage, by the way, helping out with the draft. So they had the 6 pro players doing the draft for SANDBOX.
Correct.
And the thing is SANDBOX, they went every which place with this team comment. This is actually the personification of solo queue.
Yeah, this is solo queue draft.
This is
absolutely.
Solo queue. Yeah. Absolutely. None of these champions really interact that well with each other, except for the Tahm Kench and the Ezreal in a vacuum. Everything else is just trying to do stuff on its own accord relative to its own power level and trying to just snowball ahead.
So we have the one duo
so
in here.
Bizarre.
It's Gorilla and Root. They're duo queue together. And then the rest of them have just picked what they wanted. On Griffin's side, this is some very Griffin drafting. Aatrox was sort of last on the list as far as the things that Sword had available to him. His Mordekaiser certainly didn't work out, so you can understand why they stepped away from that one. We'll see how he fares in this laning phase up against the Renekton of Summit, who has picked this champion so he can hard crush the lane.
Well, Atlas, I just want to let you know that I think that these two drafts up against one another are very interesting. In fact, I think that they are so exquisite, and all that they need to work on is their B1, R1, B2, R2, B3, R3, B4, B5, and R4, R5.
Yeah, that's the only thing they have to look at, though. Otherwise, they absolutely nailed this draft. 100%.
I think said it better myself.
I mean, I think there were some better things they could have done in the ban phase as well, but outside of that and the other issues, I think everything was absolutely fine. I think you're entirely correct there. But we'll see. This is, from what it looks like to me, and speaking honestly and candidly about this, is trying to give these players as much comfort as possible in such a high-pressure game.
Yeah.
And there is certainly merit to that. And we'll see who's going to be able to utilize it effectively. As bottom side of the map, I feel like this is going to be a pretty decent lane for Viper and Wadid, especially considering that Wadid is the best player in the universe.
Well, I can agree with you there.
Yeah.
You should have said multiverse, though. He exists in many dimensions.
That's true. That's true.
So
he might actually be just surfboard coaching in an off dimension right now as he's playing in this laning phase.
I mean, I think he's actually up here casting with you.
Oh.
In another reality.
Wow, yeah, that's probably true.
That is true. While playing.
Yeah, while playing.
He's actually they set his computer up on the desk here.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, he wouldn't be the type of person that would look at my spectator client and cheat or anything like that.
No, he wouldn't.
He's just so incredible that you can trust him that much, even if you're league officials.
Yes.
So that's just amazing. The fact that he can channel commentary and playing at the same time like that. I personally don't understand how it works, but I'm not supposed to understand it. You know, as Summit dives forward, looks for the Ruthless Predator, but doesn't quite get it. As he's doing his best to cull the Meek here on the top side of the map. And so far, he's doing some. 13-5 is that CS mark, as Fate is going to take a turret shot and lose that trade very handily.
Yeah, and UCal's going to be feeling really comfortable. So let's talk about basically what both of these two drafts are trying to achieve. Olaf is trying to power farm.
Yeah.
And Trundle is going to be the one that has the onus on him to make something happen. Unfortunately for the Trundle, there's a lot of champions on the side of Griffin that actually have ways to interact against his pillar. So that is going to be awkward for him transitioning into the later stages of the game. He's just going to wait for the Scuttle Crab now. And so Olaf going to get the reset off path to the right-hand side, and all should be fine in that department. LeBlanc looks like she's going over, actually, to check on it, and I'm not super certain about this. The next wave hasn't come out of the Nexus yet. We'll see if UCal actually just elects to try to crash this wave immediately. No, it doesn't seem like he's going to. He even has TP. So he's playing a lot more reserved than I would have expected. He popped his potion, so that's even showing that he wants to stay in the lane.
Which is so strange, actually.
What?
Because now he's going to go back, right? Because he has no mana. Like, what's he...
Why did he pop the pot?
Because he wants to buy a refillable on his next back?
So sell the pot.
Yeah. I mean, look. I don't have a good answer for you, dude. Just clutching in them straws. He's now on fleek. Looking for a potential gank up against Sword. Sword playing very far back is, yep, that's not going to be that. Doesn't quite get close enough for the Ruthless Predator. Does Summit. And now it's just going to crash this wave forward. Back comes in, you can see 31-26. Sword has actually fought back up in this lane quite nicely. Chains connect onto UCal, but he's just standing and delivering.
Yeah.
Not in turret range at all. Wadid was there for protection. Did have, of course, the Lantern available for the extra shield and the repositioning. And so UCal felt like he was capable of doing that. But now taking a fair bit of damage, actually, after backing very recently and utilizing the teleport. So see how this mid lane is going to turn out. Olaf towards the bottom side.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that Tarzan didn't just start up the Infernal Dragon sooner, given that mid had priority, bot had priority, and now, because he took his sweet time, OnFleek's going to come over. Bot lane for SANDBOX were able to push up, but it doesn't look like they're actually going to contest. They have teleport on Summit, but you can see he's a bit tied up on the minimap with Sword, who would probably just be able to cancel it. So the Infernal Dragon will go the way of Griffin.
And an exciting Drake to come up as our soul this game as well. Ocean or Mountain, as the next dragon will be that Cloud. So see whether that focus is going to continue. I actually really appreciate this from Griffin. Their ability to take neutral objectives has been terrible all season. They have had absolutely no priority on dragons or anything like that throughout all of their games. And so them picking up the first one here has certainly shown us that maybe, just maybe, they've readjusted. I assume that's just because of Wadid telling them exactly how everything's supposed to work.
Yeah, yeah.
He was actually pretty outspoken on the desk when that was happening. To Griffin in the games that we cast of the team.
Well, here so far in this game, I mean, every lane is pretty stable. And I find it very impressive that I don't know how, but he's actually piloting all of the members of Griffin's PCs.
Yeah, no, he was doing that. He was doing that yesterday as well. Yeah.
It's really, it's a feat to behold.
Actually, I mean, the picture when it was the key player matchup of Fate and UCal, it really should have just been Wadid's face.
Right, and you're really going to hand it to the Riot production crew because the level of Photoshop and green screen they're using to make it appear as if there's other Griffin members in the cams absolutely outstanding.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it really is.
Truly is, yeah.
And look, I mean, you guys saw the intro to the LCK final. It was amazing. And so you can understand that their ability to manipulate the cameras here is also going to be outstanding. As Tarzan and Yukal moving down towards the bottom side. I mean, Wadid and Wadid moving down towards the bottom side to meet up with Wadid and Wadid.
Yeah.
As Wadid top side is farming it out against Summit. Decently, you know, you expect the Renekton to win this matchup. As Sword throws down the World Ender. Wadid now is going down low. That is, of course, a bait as Viper turns up now. SANDBOX ganking onto Wadid here as he is going to flash that wall, but the red buff is going to be enough alongside that skirmishing saber to take down the Aatrox for first blood. This is exactly what SANDBOX want.
And so now, I mean, Sword does have teleport available, but you're getting Summit ahead, who is the most important member on SANDBOX, by far and away. And I wasn't here yesterday, but if I was, I would have talked about how insane it is that arguably one of the best players in all of LCK is actually in the promotion series here.
I know, we did. I can't believe it.
Alice.
No, I think you're exactly right. Summit is a fantastic top laner, but he has had his ups and downs this season. He was benched for a long time, and SANDBOX had Lonely come in and try to save them, and it didn't really work out. They were experimenting with so many different rosters. Nothing really falling into place for SANDBOX. It was, yeah, disappointing to say the least for this squad. But I think you're right. I think that Summit is still a player that deserves the accolades that he gets, but it might just be that his mentality has taken too much of a hit this season with how their results have not been anywhere near what he was wanting.
And I think one of the other things going on in this game is Summit is going to have a pretty tall ask on him to do things this game because, oh, hold on.
Well, Slice and Dice going to be used here from Summit to get himself safety. Yukal was roaming up as well. This is what Griffin find themselves having to do more often than not, and that is repair the top lane that has fallen apart. Yukal using the package to clear out this minion wave very effectively, though, and is still very far ahead when it comes to CS.
Yep. And on Fleek, he's going to start up the Rift Herald right now.
Yeah, with top priority, he can, of course, feel free to do this. And then use it topside, get Summit even further ahead, and hope that having the Crocodile too large is going to be what allows them to snowball this game away from Griffin. Because that's what they want to do, right? If you ever have a Renekton on your team, you just need to do your very best to end the game as soon as possible.
And Yukal just trying to shove in this last wave, I assume.
Well, there's the Mimic Distortion. Chains connect, but Yukal is going to break them. Successfully clears out the minion wave like you were talking about. Has a Hex Drinker first item as well.
Yep.
As he's going to finally go and finish off his tier. So that's going to be a little bit delayed. But I like the Hex Drinker purchase. I think defensive items specified for the laning phase are really good to pick up early. And he's decided to go for the Sheen. So because he couldn't get that tier stacking up early, he's instead going to forego the Manamune that we see so many of our mid laners go for.
And, I mean, on SANDBOX, right now, they're trying to start up this Cloud Dragon. Even if they get it, it's not the biggest victory.
Yep. Means that this Mountain Soul is going to be a little bit more delayed on Griffin's side, as it is Earth, Wind, and Fire that we have available for ourselves this game. No Ocean allowed. We were making desert references, so I think it makes a lot of sense that there's no Ocean Drake in this game. 600 gold going to be the lead here for SANDBOX, as a lot of that is top side of the map. 23 CS in the lead, but Sword will be able to pick up this minion wave.
And we're just playing ping pong. We are in a lull state, and you know, we haven't had a lull state in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has absolutely been quite a long time. The weather today in Korea is fantastic, by the way.
It's beautiful.
It is the best day, I think, that we've ever had.
In the universe? Like ever?
In 2020.
Do you think it was Woodid? Do you think he booked it in?
Yeah, I think that's I think he decided when he woke up this morning that he wanted the weather to be like this.
Yep.
And thus it was.
Well, thank you, our Lord and Savior Woodid.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Tarzan looking to come over and steal away a red buff, but OnFleek is right here. Still has the Rift Herald available. Yukal, he's going to turn up. Gorilla going to be there as well. Lands the Tongue Lash. And there goes the pillar. Valkyrie used for Yukal to create some space. Blast Cone. Going to stop OnFleek from getting on top of the Corki, but Fate does dive on over. A lot of damage comes out from the True Shot Barrage as Root dives over. Finds a little bit of extra poke damage, and it will mean that SANDBOX do lock down their own red buff. A little bit of a scuffle, but otherwise not too much to come from it.
And Summit getting a trade-off against the Aatrox up there.
Yep. Not opting in for any Executioner's Callings. Actually works in this matchup on both sides. But you can see Summit and Sword deciding not to go with it. Might be what Sword's going to turn that longsword into, but I hazard a guess that it is going to be the Phage. Gorilla's moving on over.
Ooh.
That's a really good snare. The Ignite does come down. A lot of magic damage shield is going to be available, but Fate decides not to die for that turret now. Rift Herald's going to be spawned topside. World Ender is in for Sword. It's going to be a lot of extra money for Summit. See whether they get any more. Rift Herald is going to be taken very swiftly. So still a couple of plates remain as Viper throws out the Moonlight Vigil. That was scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about.
Sometimes you just got to press your R button.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
FaZe was showing us in our previous game.
Right.
And he won 2-0. So, I don't know. Cull completed though here for Viper. He is very, very strong as he's going to take Wadid's incredible Lantern towards the mid lane, but they decide instead that Yukal's going to make it there in time. He says step away from my CS. They are going to do so. A lot of wards for SANDBOX here on the bottom side of the map as Viper clears one of them. This means that this Ezreal Tahm Kench is going to be pretty comfy.
And we're just going to keep playing ping pong, it seems. Viper did complete his call. Minute and a half until Mountain Dragon, but no one really getting any super sizable advantages. I mean, I suppose Summit does have some turret plates, but yeah, they're not even going to be able to find a kill there.
Nope.
Humble Dash does come out. And we're just mostly waiting. LeBlanc is going to have a bit of a hard time in the later stages of the game, killing anyone.
Especially with this Hex Drinker on Yukal already. Tarzan walks over a controller. There's the box from Wadid. It's Gorilla getting taken down very, very low. Viper with these close-range weapons. Certainly able to get a lot of work done, but just going to be softening up the members of SANDBOX underneath the turret. Might buy them some space, but the turret plates have already fallen down a minute ago. Now Calibrum, Crescendum online for Viper.
And yeah, this is
feeling like a Griffin
LCK.
game.
Yeah,
this is feeling like a Griffin game, yeah.
Absolutely. It's feeling like a Jin Air game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
well, when you've got
blast of the past.
I mean, Griffin now have Jin Air's old coach. So it's like a compounded effect of really slow League of Legends. As that was an interesting point of the game. Of course, Root was on Jin Air when they were relegated. H-Dragon, of course, was there beside him. So which one of these players is going to be biting the dust as Summit moves himself out of the highlighted spot of Sword's Q? He's going to be absolutely fine. He's still ahead, but it's still just that 20 CS mark. As Griffin have started off this Mountain Drake already. Yukal with the package ready to be delivered. SANDBOX are teleporting in. They do not want to give this one away as now teleport towards the bottom side as well. Summit is going to make his way in. Sword can teleport as well.
Sure.
Whether he's going to, we'll have to find out. He is just going to go back to base first. True Shot Barrage comes down. And nope, he's going to cancel that back, and they're just going to give up on this Drake.
And this will allow the Aatrox to get more farm and EXP, and perhaps they're thinking, we don't want to fight yet and use summoners when Corki's so close to Trinity Force, Aatrox so close to Black Cleaver. So they're willing to give over the Mountain Dragon in favor of having a more controlled team fight once their item completions come in.
Yeah. Can understand that one, especially when they're probably pretty happy to scale. Olaf and Aatrox not necessarily your greatest of scaling champions, but Aphelios and Corki are very, very good the longer this game goes on. Certainly meaningful item pickups abound for both of these champions. So see whether Griffin can play around that. SANDBOX looking to try and spike a little bit earlier than this. Do want to allow Summit to carry as best he can. He does have that Executioner's Calling now completed. Black Cleaver also done alongside his Ninja Tabi. And this is a very scary Crocodile now parked in the mid lane. Viper down towards bot. He's going to clear out that minion wave. Shirley comes down. SANDBOX are looking to try and crash this one. Tarzan has to use the Ragnarok defensively. They're still diving for him. Fate taking a lot of damage. They are just going to buy space with that LeBlanc. Now look for a secondary charge. They will get it here as well as UCal. Stops it. Nicely done. SANDBOX got what they came for, of course.
Yep. They end up getting the tier 1 turret. And back to farming it is, as Ezreal going for the Trinity Force. Yeah. With the Muramana probably going to be completed in the next minute and a half. Looks like Banshee's Veil is going to be the next item on the LeBlanc, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, given that Corki can pop it so easy.
Yeah.
With his ultimate ability.
Not to mention there's going to be undertows flying and things like that. Like
there's so many things that can really put a bit of a damper on that. But 18.5 minutes here.
Yeah.
With 1 kill. And we're waiting for Mountain Dragon. So,
yeah. Do you need to go to the bathroom or something like that? I mean, nothing's going to happen for the next 2.5 minutes, so if you can race.
I actually just got paint, and I'm going to watch it dry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I picked it up.
Well, actually, no, I bought some grass.
Do
you want to watch it grow with me?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's fantastic. We can watch. Do you want to do the paint first or the grass first? I'm really excited about both options.
Let's throw the paint on the grass.
Oh my god.
See if it can grow while it dries.
Yeah, see which one grows first while the other one's drying. Oh man, see how much the grass is going to grow before the paint is dry.
Perfect. That sounds like a date.
It's such a cool combination of two really exciting things that we can do.
You know what? We're not casting online anymore, and they tried to move our hands apart, but our hands are joined now.
Yeah, they are.
For this moment.
They can't move our hands because we have control of our real bodies. That's the beauty of being in LoL Park. This is actually the first time we've casted together in LoL Park for a really long time. I was there with the Valdanalyst yesterday.
Yes, you were, Mr. Valdez.
Yes, Mr. Bronze 5 himself.
Yep.
As a Summit Freak of Freaks fan. UCal, of course, formerly a Freak of Freaks player as well. That's why he's flashing him that one. As True Shot Barrage flies in. It's going to mean 1 Cull to Meat clears out that minion wave, so throws it in. Another Freak of Freaks comes out. Summit representing some of his old teams alongside UCal. I don't believe they played together at all. Because, of course, on Afrika, Summit was sitting behind Keen the entire time, was only ever really a sub. But now Tarzan moves in. UCal taking a lot of damage from Summit there. Really good trade. But the minion wave is going to go down, and Summit does save that turret. So I really like how Summit's been playing thus far. Close to a 30 CS advantage, but now Conflict does find that pillar, slows UCal down just a little. You can see this this Lego crocodile up towards the top side of the map is doing some really fantastic things. But he will fall off as this game goes on. So how much more he can do, we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, Viper is continuing to farm up here on the Aphelios. And all that's really happened here is SANDBOX have accrued a 2,000 gold lead. They have a Mountain Dragon. Now, the Mountain Dragon in a vacuum does get outscaled typically by the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, it feels like actually like Mountain Drake, like it's just outscaled is the aim of the game here for SANDBOX. And that's why Griffin are doing basically nothing at this stage of the game.
Yeah. And Mountain Soul is the one good hope because it will just end the game if they get it.
Oh, that play was so sick from Wadid, who flashed in for it. UCal gets exhausted immediately after the package delivery. So not quite working there. He's a little bit too tired after he gets to the front door. As now Sword dived in on top of Summit. Is that the fight you want to take, though, as Fate connects the chains and Sword, unable to finish that engagement. Summit avoiding a whole lot of these rockets. Is now SANDBOX looking for the re-engage. Fate lands yet another chain, and Newcal has to flash massive damage onto Viper with the True Shot barrages. Summit locks down Wadid and takes him out. Wadid expertly being the sacrificial lamb here for Griffin to make sure that they don't lose too much as the surprised crab comes out and SANDBOX move towards Soul Point.
And they're one dragon away from going up 1-0 in this series. Because if you get the mountain, so I'll talk about it right after this. So pay attention to what happens here. Wadid goes for the flash play and then misses the hook. And Newcal actually bumps them basically to safety in a way. He draws a line, not able to achieve too much. Sword goes in onto Summit, who can't get a lot of value. SANDBOX at this point are very split up, but this is what they want to be doing with the Ezreal and the LeBlanc. They want to be corralling the opponents. And take a look at the True Shot barrage. Root goes forward, removes Viper's ability to be in the fight, and the other exciting thing here, Atlas, is a mid-game Olaf is always a sight to behold when he has no kills.
And he hasn't gone for Cacao's fun version of Olaf. Cacao's Olaf was, I'm going to build Warrior Enchant.
That's the right way to build it.
And
yeah,
when Warrior Enchant, Boots of Lucidity straight into Black Cleaver for as much axes as possible.
No doubt.
And 40% CDR with only a couple of items. Absolutely love it. But that is not what Tarzan's decided to do. It looks like Spirit Visage is coming in next. And some cheeky Ninja Tabi there as well. So just more of that tanky build. Tank Olaf, guys. He's a meat shield. That's about it.
And what I would really like to see here is just more tank itemization start coming out by SANDBOX, given that they're likely going to get the third Mountain Drake. And so good utilization out of armor and MR, getting 18% amp to it.
Yeah, actually, this would have been a good game to go Iceborne Gauntlet on the Ezreal, too.
Yeah, he could have, well,
it's hard to know exactly what you're going to roll.
That you would roll the mountain and that you would want to end up going into it. But even in a vacuum, I think the Iceborne Gauntlet isn't that bad here against Aatrox Olaf.
True.
Aphelios and even Thresh. So definitely had options to do that, but he just opted for the more damage-heavy route. As SANDBOX, now because they're threatening this soul, they're able to just sit back, relax, play ping pong with the waves. We're not going to freeze. We're allergic to that F word here.
Well, I mean, this is a hellscape right now with the draft, so you're not going to be able to freeze anything even if you want to, as Sword not going to be chained up. Battle of the chains there towards the top side. And SANDBOX looking to just clear out even more vision. If we were able to toggle over to the Griffin vision, that one ward there, that I believe was Wadid, of course. That was my favorite ward skin as well. Came out so long ago. Oh my god.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, I love it. I assume that it was Wadid that has that ward skin. Yes, it is. There it goes. Replaced. Ah, stunning.
You know,
see, I just know.
Yeah. I am, I just want to point out to you that Corky's dog looks like a wiener dog with this skin.
Oh, yeah, it does a little bit.
You know?
Oh, it's actually really cute.
Yeah.
Sausage dog. As Sword going to get chained. Lands his chain as well. Got chain for chain. But Sword's going to have the rough end of that one. And Fate's actually been playing really well today. I think in that last team fight, was able to dash in and out very effectively. And now maybe we're getting an idea as to why he's the one playing instead of Dove. It wasn't really what we were experiencing in our in the last series. Waiting off to the side, the souls sort of giving him away. But he will pick up those celestial souls there. Very cool.
Yeah. Very good Thresh skin. As, wow, look at the architecture here by Viper.
Yeah, pretty cool. And the skin synergy as well.
Yeah.
Between this Aphelios and the Thresh. Very cosmic. Love it.
And 50 seconds until the Mountain Drake comes up.
Yep.
And if SANDBOX ends up getting it, Olaf, Thresh, and Aatrox will cease to be champions. They will not be able to do anything because their initial burst will come out and it'll only chew through the shield that Mountain Soul is going to end up granting. So it's going to be near impossible for those champions to team fight. And even for...
Oh man. That is a fantastic pillar out from On Fleek as well. But Newcal didn't quite have Flash available. He's still able to get himself to safety, utilizing that Valkyrie. Now 15, 14 seconds until the Mountain Soul is available. All of the control is here for SANDBOX as Summit moves on down. Fate continues to be frustrating, but Yukal chasing after him. And the big one is going to land. That is actually Fate well and truly chunked out. True Shot Barrage does some work onto Wadid there on the backside. And Sword tries to lock them down, but Tarzan is so close to dead. Root dives over the wall. A hero play, but he gets exhausted on the backside. And now Sword's trying to get on top of him, but he's just running them around the rosy. Root is a god in this team fight. Summit dives onto Sword, and it's a triple kill as Root says no to his former coach. 6-0 is the kill score, and Mountain Soul is alive, but Baron looks to be the option.
If you get the Mountain Soul, you can use Baron to demand that the opponents dance with you, and then just charge out them.
Team fight, yeah.
You just get a team fight. But now, okay, they're gonna get the Baron. Summit does have teleport. He's gonna be able to recall and teleport down there. Yukal starting up the mountain. Trundle, you can see, barreling over. Now, the thing here is some people might be watching this and like, okay, SANDBOX still gets the Baron and the mountain. The issue is that they knock off a lot of time on their Baron buff, and now they don't demand that Griffin comes out of a defensive position and have to fight them. That's the big difference to the variation that they could have gone for. So, Olaf doing Olaf things. Abysmal champion. Root just lays waste to Tarzan. Sword tries to follow over the wall, but Root doing so much on the Ezreal. Getting so much value.
Oh my god, we get to watch it from his pro view. See how cool, calm, and collected he is there in his screen as well. Oh man. Look at how close that mouse is as well, Alas.
Yep. Really, really good control.
Landed everything.
Yeah.
Watch me, please.
Oh, he was saying dragon. Root's a bit of a savant. All right, the Ezreal player, you gotta,
He also did 5,000 damage in that team fight. As now, we've got an Elder Drake available in 5 minutes' time, but this Mountain Soul is such a big deal for SANDBOX. It actually turns Renekton into a champion in the later stages of the game as well. You can build a lot of resistances and be very, very strong. His Randuin's Omen already completed. Is now on fleek. Out of position here, but doesn't have to use the subjugation or anything like that. Summit was moving on down. The rest of SANDBOX over to the side. And Root just wants to take down this turret. Should be able to do so. As Tarzan taking too much damage there. Root dealing with the turret and the Olaf at the same time, and even nails the ultimate. Root is on absolute incredible form today. This is the guy that we really wanted to see on a new team, right? And when he joined SANDBOX, we got really excited. Did not have the season this season that we were expecting, but this is what he's capable of.
Well, he's doing a really good job here. Taking a little bit of damage there, but it's fine. Remember, they
Yep, Fate donking off a little bit towards the top side, but is able to flash himself to safety. Now Sword getting himself a flank, but maybe he's just going to get himself a trip to the death chamber. He does, as Root locks down that kill. Viper on the front line, obliterated by this Ezreal. Double kill so far. Is it going to be the triple as Tarzan trying to kite this one out? True Shot Barrage very close to nailing Yukal as Summit locks down the jungler, and this is going to be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Griffin falling down 0-1 in game one. SANDBOX fighting for their lives for another opportunity to get back into the LCK. And this might just be the last we see of Griffin if they can't win the next 2 games in a row. This is so much pressure. Yukal delivers a present to Gorilla up to the backside, but Root is going to be able to lock down that kill. Not entirely sure what was going on there as on fleek throws up the flare. These Nexus turrets are dead. Griffin flares up from Gorilla. And Summit still representing a freak of freaks. The Nexus will fall on fleek. Might just die. No, he doesn't. As there we go. Even a cheeky Jin Air flare that we love to see. I believe that was Root.
And Griffin is 1 game away from getting relegated and sent back to Challenger Series, which doesn't even exist anymore. This is like an obliteration strike.
Yeah, this is...
They're about to be Mordekaiser ulted out of the LCK.
It's like what happened to Jin Air, but they don't even have to have them be 7th place challenger afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just wiped from the face of League of Legends. I mean, of course, they can still buy back in to the LCK. It just costs an extra $2 million to do so. And I don't know how many orgs can afford to do that. I have a feeling, you know, Gen G T1, they're probably capable. They don't need to. They're already there.
Yeah.
Hanwha Life, also a lot of money, but they're also still there as well. And that was the team that Griffin were able to topple in their last match. Coming out of the LCK, Griffin actually didn't look that bad. But this was SANDBOX playing behind a different level of Root that we haven't seen all season long. We saw shades of this when he was on Jin Air in last year's games in 2019.
Yeah.
And finally, he comes out of the woodwork and just team fights gloriously on this Ezreal. And, you know, of course, as a Korean Ezreal player, we do expect a lot because we've had so many good Ezreals in our in the LCK, present and past. But man, and it's exactly when you need to as well. Like, it's like a chips are down performance, like really rallying. And that's what you expect out of heroes.
Yeah.
And he is trying to be that hero.
Well, we shall see what Griffin will have in store for us in game number 2, because it actually felt like they came out the gate with the draft edge, but it just didn't mean anything. Tarzan went on a shopping spree at the grocery market, so he definitely did power farm.
I just don't think they win unless they sub Antarian.
Or Hoya, right?
Or Hoya. Hoya would be fine too. I feel like Antara was having more consistent performances than Hoya was. I just don't think that they have enough flexibility on the top side of the map. And Summit, even though he was on the Renekton, he was still just so much more valuable throughout the entire game.
Well, this is definitely going to be a very scary game number 2, because the pressure must be ginormous.
Oh my god, the damage on the Viper here, out of the fight entirely.
Because you also don't know, once you get relegated and if the team disbands, if there's no more Challenger Series, you don't know what's next in your career.
Yeah.
And that's a very big mental pressure that can be present on some of these players. So you have to wonder what is going through their mind right now as they're going to be doing their review.
Sorts of freaking Brink squares are actually making me so happy. I don't even know why, really. He barely even played on that team, as Wadid wasn't able to get his team out of this mess. They were just too far ahead on the side of SANDBOX. Root playing out of his mind League of Legends. We're going to listen to the final minutes of this game for SANDBOX. Only look for the turrets, only look for the turrets. Just win the game.
All zone.
An amazing team players there. Representing Jin Air was Root. Of course, this was the last situation that he was in. It was being relegated on Jin Air. It was very unfortunate times. A lot of damage came out from the Corki, but way more from Root. He was by far and away. We don't have player of the game, but if we did, it would 100% be Root.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no chance anybody else was going to get in there. Despite some decent performances elsewhere, his Ezreal was just outstanding. Yeah, it's rough, man. I think the smart money was on Griffin as far as looking at the form of these two teams in yesterday's matches, but I don't think any of us were expecting Root to show up quite that much, as well as Griffin to not really find the draft that they were looking for. But look, guys, we do have possibly another 2 games. We are going to go to the break, and we'll see whether Griffin are going to be able to fight back in game 2. Don't go anywhere.